New from Severin on 4K and Blu-ray is She Killed in Ecstasy. This double pack is another Jess Franco film, and to be honest, is probably one of the more accessible Franco films. She Killed in Ecstasy sees our Soledad Miranda playing Mrs. Johnson, a widow of a disgraced doctor whose radical experiments led to public humiliation and to be removed from his profession. And when he kind of struggles to deal with the fact that he's been ostracised, ultimately commits suicide, and his wife decides that it's time for vengeance. Her cold grief mutates into something more horrible, and one by one, the members of the panel responsible for her husband's downfall begin to die, each seduced and manipulated and ultimately destroyed by this mysterious widow who seems to glide through the film like a ghost of erotic revenge.
Haben Sie Lust auf einen Drink mitzukommen?
It's part sexploitation thriller, part gothic revenge tale, and it's filtered through the dreamlike lens of Jess Franco's psychedelic filmmaking. And like I said, this one is one of the more accessible Franco films. It's also one that really isn't that original, and especially in Franco's career, is something that echoes some of his other films. I'd say particularly because it's one I've seen most recently, The Diabolical Dr. Z. It really echoes the storyline of that, but this time it feels a little bit more refined, a little bit more removed from some of the sillier elements and boiled down to the sort of key beats.
So wie man sich im Allgemeinen eine Prostituierte vorstellt. Ich bin in sein Zimmer rübergegangen. Und da habe ich ihn gefunden.
And the film rather drifts rather than races forward. Franco's camera lingers on textures, bodies. It has this music and mood. Scenes unfold with this kind of hypnotic pacing, sometimes repeating visuals, and sometimes it feels as if it's sliding into surrealism. It's really less about the plot mechanics, although they are there, and it's more about the atmosphere and how this revenge is rendered as erotic ritual throughout it, which I really kind of like that, because it's a film that could easily have fallen into that rinse and repeat, because there are 4 victims here and they're each going to be seduced, attacked and murdered.
Kommen Sie doch näher.
Warum verfolgen Sie mich? Warum denn bloß?
I like the fact that Mrs. Johnson in this one uses the only weapon that she has, her sexuality. She uses their desire to lure her victims, turning this kind of intimacy into a tool of vengeance. Even when people are on guard, you see them kind of lure it as their urges take over, falling into this trap of this wily woman. And it's to see how this stage of grief has been transformed into violence, and what begins as mourning, what begins as a terrible depression, evolves into retribution, how focusing that avenue of feeling into that almost saves her from a similar fate as her husband.
Sie hat Kratzwunden am ganzen Körper. Inspektor, ich würde sagen, mit größter Wahrscheinlichkeit ein und derselbe Täter.
Soledad Miranda gives a wonderful performance here. It's absolutely fantastic. She dominates the film with a kind of icy elegance and a vulnerability that you kind of rarely see in Franco films. Her presence carries the entire narrative of the film. She's beautiful, it's tragic, she's dangerous, but it's all on her shoulders, and you lose the kind of exploitation narrative, because you feel like this is a character who's embodying the elements of grief throughout her actions and funneling it into an avenue to allow her to express herself more than just a kind of typical Franco film, which, well, I'm talking about Franco, he's definitely at his most stylish here. Compared to some of his more chaotic films, it feels controlled. It's visually striking. It has a quick run time, but it's paced perfectly. It's full of bold colours and eerie compositions. There's certain things that just happen that are just odd. There's a moment where there are two women talking, and one of them leans over and sits a glass of wine in front of the camera, and it almost breaks the fourth wall. And it's such a strange and unusual placement that it made me kind of sit up and pay attention and go, look, why that choice? Why do things like that? And it's something that I rarely do in Franco films, where I start to go, why is he choosing this angle or this avenue? Why is he placing his actors in this situation? So, one of the better Franco films I've came across. Let's dive into the disc of She Killed in Ecstasy. Have a look at some of the extras. Here we are in the disc for She Killed in Ecstasy. Let's go to the bonus features. First up, we have Ecstasy and Rage, interview with Stephen Thrower, author of The Murderous Passions, the delirious cinema of Jess Franco, which runs at 41 minutes 56 seconds, talking all about this production, the stars, how it came about straight after Vampyros Lesbos. Next, we have In the Land of Franco, part 13, which is 21 minutes 7 seconds, and it's a conversation with the son of a French production house that really released a lot of Franco films. Then we have Jess Killed in Ecstasy, interview with writer-director Jess Franco. This was, for me, one of the most interesting ones here. It's 16 minutes 56 seconds, and you get the man himself talking about making this film, trying to think back and remember various conversations, ideas, the gestation of the plot. Next, we have Sublime Soledad, interview with Soledad Miranda, historian Amy Brown. This is 20 minutes 23 seconds, and it kind of works like a mini biography of this person, whom I've seen in a few movies, but to learn more about her was just terrific. Then we have Paul Muller on Jess Franco, interview with frequent Franco star. This is 6 minutes 32 seconds and just talks about his experiences working for Franco, and also as a German trailer. And that's the extras for She Killed in Ecstasy. There we have it. She Killed in Ecstasy is one of the better Franco films that I've seen. It's elevated by that lead performance. Soledad Miranda is amazing in this film. The film itself is languid, is strange, soaked in atmosphere. It turns exploitation into something more poetic than you would expect from similar fare. I would recommend this one. If you're looking for an avenue into Jess Franco films, it's probably one of the easiest ones to get into. You'll understand straight away whether it's something you're willing to go with or not. If you're etched in 70s exploitation cinema, it's something you're going to enjoy. The 4K looks absolutely tremendous, especially with some of the bright colours that Franco is using throughout this. They just pop on screen. Getting to see some of the textures as well as some of the weird focus points that he has was just great. Really enjoyed it. Can't fault it in any way, shape or form. I would love to know your thoughts on She Killed in Ecstasy. Let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, or fell somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.